Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is actually a tag video, and I am so glad because I have not done a tag in a long time. So it's about time, you know? It is so much fun to film tags, and this one I've been tagged by Angelica Lyremar, who is a fellow YouTuber, beauty YouTuber from Sweden, and of course she's going to be linked in the description box down below. I've also had a collab with her beforehand already. I think it was the beginning of this year. So that is so cool, and thank you so much, dear Angelica, for the tag. And this is the My Makeup Year 2021 tag. Okay, so of course there are 10 questions. You're going to find them in the description box down below in case you want to pick up the tag, and I'm going to try to answer according to my best ability. Now, I always feel with tags like this that I am not informed enough, and that might sound very funny to maybe you. Because you probably think, well, Leorah is so involved in the makeup community and in the releases and in everything. Fact is that, you know, especially when we're talking about hypes, I'm not very informed because I'm not following stuff like that in depth. And I'm also not really involved in what is happening within the community, who is excited about what and whatever. I just don't have time for this, you know? In a lot of ways, the beauty community, when it comes to stuff like this, is like a very big kindergarten, and I don't have time for that kindergarten because I have my own in real life, you know? So that's why I'm going to kind of maybe take this tag a little bit. I'm going to custom make it for myself a little bit, okay? I have to adjust it a little bit because there's no answers for certain questions when it comes to me, okay? So I'm going to wing it. Okay, sweetie, if you just found me, welcome to my channel. I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I am living for colorful makeup and usually also colorful styling. Today, I just really wanted to wear polka dots, and this is what I wanted. So, but usually I'm very colorful, and of course, feel free to check out my social media where I'm posting all my looks when it comes to clothing and also makeup. You will find it all down there listed, so feel free to check that out, and of course check out my channel and subscribe because I would absolutely love to have you here. Okay, so now we do have 10 questions, and I think the first question is for me personally the easiest because it says, first question, brands I fell in love with this year. Now, these are not necessarily new brands or necessarily new releases, but sometimes I'm getting the releases later because I buy them later, or someone else buys them for me later, or the brand decides to send them to me at some point. So that is how I get to try new brands, and that is how I fall in love with them. Of course, you know probably that my channel is not about having the latest thing immediately, because that's just not part of my life because of my location in the world, and also because, you know, I have a very busy life outside of YouTube, so I cannot just drop everything and just like have everything up the next day whenever something has dropped. It's just not part of me, but I still get to love stuff maybe a little bit later, you know? So yeah, so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've tried this year and that I have been falling in love with this year for different reasons, okay? So let me just get all the stuff here because I actually want to feature a couple of brands. And yeah, so let's just go right into it. Okay, first I think I want to start with Mira Beauty, because Mira Beauty I started earlier on this year, I think maybe around May, when they launched the House of Everest bundle, which I have right here. I just need to dig it out between all the releases that I have here. So we do have the Creed palette, a 9-pan palette with like green tones. Then we do have the Lust palette, which is also a 9-pan palette with all kinds of rosy tones and variations of rosy purple kind of a situation. And then we do have the Envy palette, which is a glitter quad. Alright, so this is the House of Everest bundle, and now just like a couple of weeks ago they launched this one, the Melancholia bundle, which is this palette, the Melancholia palette, which I've also reviewed here on my channel with a couple of looks. There is a video live in case you want to check it out, and also again a glitter quad, which I think is very smart of them to do, that they're doing the glitter quad extra, and I'm also going to talk about that subject later on. Yeah, so I definitely fell in love with that brand this year. Now, why did I initially buy the first release? Because of the green palette. You know, that is the one that drew me in. I think a lot of people are very attracted to green, and it's very smart for people or for brands to come out with green palettes, because I think a lot of YouTubers, or I don't know, influencers who are into colorful makeup really like green. So that is definitely something, you know, I don't know, it just makes sense for me. So I bought it for this, and I just happened to then pick up the whole collection. So this is when I fell in love with the brand, when I tried this, and actually before I even tried the product, I was really kind of enchanted by the way they are promoting or introducing their releases, you know, because there's always like a story behind it. There is always so much thought and so much depth around the whole thing, you know, and that is really something that speaks to me, because there are so many brands who are just popping out releases where I think, okay, so basically they probably had like a day off in their other job and they're just popping out a release. This is how it sometimes feels, like very random, and I don't know, you know, which is okay. Like, everybody can do whatever they want. It is just when you have releases like this that actually speak in so many layers and in so much depth, that really draws me in, because I think the world is lacking a lot of that, you know. So the same thing with the Melancholia bundle, I spoke about it in the review also. So that is definitely a brand that I do support, that I do love very much for the products, but also for the way they go about it and how they are producing their collections basically. So I also happen to have a code with them in case you want to use it. All my codes are in the description box, but what I say has nothing to do with it. Like, you know, I'm not getting rich, let's face it. Okay, sweeties, then the next brand, which was a huge surprise for me, is actually this one. This is Cosmic Brushes, and this is the Royal Rose palette. I received this as a surprise from one of my besties. She ordered this. This is a brand based in the UK, and I also have a code with them. I reviewed this palette also here on my channel, and this was such high quality makeup, sweeties. This was incredible. This palette rocked my life when I was working with it, and I'm still craving to go back to it. You know, there is not much chance of that happening anytime soon, unless I go on a no buy / no PR acceptance or anything like that, because otherwise I'm just never getting back to using something that I already love. But sweeties, this palette, highly recommended. It is probably one of my most favorite formulas, you know. I think I'm also going to do a favorite video of this year, and this is probably also going to be in that video. So this is a very good palette, and if this is a color scheme that you like it, if you're maybe in Europe and this is easier for you to get, I would highly recommend it, because this is a beautiful palette, and I know that some of you have already bought this palette on my recommendation. Okay, then another brand that I fell in love with this year is Saints, Angels, Sinners. Sweeties, first of all, the owner is just super sweet. Beyond that, and there are a lot of sweet owners out there, but I don't think anyone is like Darcy, honestly, you know. Okay, so let me just show you one of her palettes. I have all of them. Okay, I have all of them. This is the Grateful Heart palette. I featured this here on my channel already. This is just an example. This brand started to come up, I do believe it was June or July this year, and ever since she has launched so many palettes, and a lot of like 6-pan palettes also. Some of them are also bigger, and now she has a big collab coming up, the Zodiac Signs palette and stuff. So there is a lot going on, and this woman just fascinates me because of her true passion for makeup, for creating things, for being kind, for like spreading the sparkles, you know, and also for the good makeup, because especially now the later palettes that she came out with have been curated in such a good way, and also the actual formula is so nice, you know. So this is actually really good makeup, and this brand is a fledgling brand, super small, and just like half a year old, you know. It's amazing. So this is definitely a brand that I fell in love with this year, you know. Also here I do have a code. Wow, I'm like everywhere. Okay, sweeties, another brand that I tried this year is actually Sugar Drizzle. I tried 2 palettes from Sugar Drizzle this year. There was the Panda Bear and Cup palette, and also this one, the Pickle palette. This just really has my heart and soul, because first of all, I really like the formula. I do like the creativity of the brand a lot, and I kind of wish I could have every release that they release, because it's just so beautiful how they go about it, and it's green. You know what I mean? This one got sponsored by one of my besties and I'm super, super grateful. And this is so, so cute. And I also, of course, featured it here on my channel. I do have a video up about this and the look came out amazing and it's just so, so pretty. You know, it's a super, super pretty little palette. I don't know if this is still available or if this was limited edition or something, but sweeties, have this brand definitely also on your radar because Sugar Drizzle is phenomenal. Then also a newfound brand for me personally is Pink Crush Cosmetics. And this palette I've shown you so many times, the Metamorphosis palette that they came out with in collaboration with Krista Rice Makeup. This is so, so beautiful. And I think this is on the same level as Sugar Drizzle when it comes to the formula and also the creativity in the palettes, you know? Really, really beautiful stuff and just very high quality and amazing, you know? So this is definitely also a brand to have on your radar, and especially this palette, sweeties, if this is your color scheme, get yourself this palette if it is still available. Then okay, wait, no, this doesn't belong here. Okay, the other brand that or actually two more brands that I want to show you is, first of all, Blend Bunny Cosmetics, sweeties. It started with this palette, the Blends palette, which is an all matte palette. I have used this here on my channel as well. Of course, this is an all matte palette, so I actually paired it up with some other palettes that were all shimmer palettes. So this is beautiful. Beautiful, you know, really, really, I'm loving the matte formula of Blend Bunny Cosmetics. And that brings me also to the next one, which is the Surge palette, which I think was also one very, very hyped palette, which looks like this. It is a beautiful palette. Now here I did have a little bit more problems with the shimmer formula, but I think that is a very, very personal thing because the older I get, stuff just starts to crease on me, you know? So that is that. I'm very, very curious about all the new releases coming from Blend Bunny because there are a couple of palettes coming or a couple of releases now in January. So I'm super, super curious. I think one is going to be an all neutrals palette, which just makes sense because they have come out with two super, super colorful palettes so far. So it would just be smart to also serve someone else, you know, serve a different client basically, you know. So but in any case, I think this was spectacular overall, you know, and that is definitely also a brand that I absolutely support and that I absolutely love. And yeah, so that is Blend Bunny. And then a super huge surprise for me towards the end of this year was actually Yardi Couture Cosmetics, and I've also spoken about these two palettes already a couple of times here on my channel. Of course, I do have a review with several looks up on my channel, and also in other videos I have mentioned this brand. Sweeties, this was phenomenal. So we do have the Escape to Paradise palette here, which is an all matte palette. Sweeties, the formula is amazing, pigmentation is amazing, it's just stunning makeup. And then the Sunsea Shimmer palette, which is an all shimmer palette, you know. So definitely also a brand to look out for and to support because it is super, super good quality. Okay, so all of these brands, I'm sure there are more, but sometimes I just lose track of what I've been working with because I've been going through so much this year when it comes to going through different makeup palettes and different brands, you know. So that is sometimes I don't write stuff down and stuff, so I don't know. But that was basically what came to mind immediately when I thought about this question. All right, I do hope that the rest of the questions I can answer a bit faster because otherwise we're all in trouble. Okay, question number 2, brands I broke up with this year. Now, sweeties, if you would have asked me a month ago, I would have said there is no such thing that I'm breaking up with brands. But honestly, now in the last couple of, I want to say 2 weeks, I have actually broken up with 2 brands, and both of them are small indie brands, and I'm very, very upset about it, but they actually hurt me personally, you know. Believe it or not. Now, I'm here to promote positivity. I'm trying to always see the positive. I am trying to spread sparkles in this, you know, in this world. And I do believe that I deserve better than being treated like a cheap worker by indie brands. And that has actually been happening. You know, in one case, that is what happened. In the other case, I actually got blocked by that indie brand that I actually really, really like. I have like 7 palettes of that indie brand, and I've been promoting that brand here, and I've been a huge fan even till like super, super lately. And I even said that I would buy the latest palette, and as a result of me hearing a lot from you Okay, I'm hearing a lot from you. I'm getting a lot of feedback, what your experiences are with different brands. And some of you have reached out to me to tell me that there is a very big problem with the customer service with that brand. And I'm not saying names because I don't want to promote negativity. I don't want anyone to go to those brands and give them trouble because, you know, I don't do stuff like that. So you can draw your own conclusions, or maybe you can do detective work. I don't know what, if you care enough, but I'm not going to say the names, okay? Sweeties, so in that case, that brand actually blocked me because I said in one of my videos about that brand, because I know that the brand owners usually watch my videos when I'm speaking about new makeup releases and stuff like that. I said, please fix your problems because I love your brand. Your stuff rocks. I love your creativity, but please fix the issues. I got blocked. I got blocked on Instagram. I could not see the account anymore. At some point I got unblocked, but I got completely ignored. And then I heard from a lot of you who actually said that this happens all the time, and this stuff is not going well there, you know? So that's why I'm not going to feature that brand anymore, unfortunately, because I really, really love that brand. And I actually received, I think, 2 palettes in PR from that brand previously, you know? So, and I think I do deserve better because I just never said anything bad. I never said anything bad. I think it is a very, very justified thing to say if there are issues with the customer service or with answering questions or stuff like this, if people get blocked left and right, that there is something that needs to be worked on. You know, I think it's a very, very justified suggestion. And beyond that, I said that I really, really love the brand and I want them to succeed. And that is why I'm saying it, because otherwise they will not succeed. It is my concern that my fledgling indie brands do succeed, you know? So that is the one brand. The other brand actually reached out to me after one of my latest new makeup releases videos, after I had apparently reoccurringly mispronounced one of the palettes. I'm just saying that it was a Spanish name. Beyond that, I'm not going to say anything that gives you a clue. And actually I got a message that was signed with "respectfully yours," but that was really the only thing in that message that was respectful. Because really, I have been treated like a cheap worker, you know? And I am not anyone's worker. I'm doing this here in my free time as my choice. I'm not being paid for it. And if brand owners want me to do the research and be perfect, then they better offer me a sponsored video, you know? Because I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart because I want those brands to succeed and I want them to have a platform. But then when brand owners turn around and tell me that I misrepresent their brands, because, I mean, I'm saying this now like it happens a lot. It does not happen a lot, but when it happens, because I'm not here bashing brands, obviously, right? That's not what I do. Unless I have a real reason to be upset, I am not saying anything really negative about the brands, because I do believe that even if I personally maybe do not want to buy the release or whatever, I think that there is someone out there who wants exactly that, you know? And I think you know, judging creativity is a very, very dangerous thing to do. I don't want to do that because it is someone else's creativity and it is their right, you know? So yeah, but if I then get treated like I'm misrepresenting the brand because I personally could not pronounce the name properly, because apparently that has happened before with a different release of that brand that I spoke about and I didn't know what the name meant. And yeah, I just don't speak Spanish. You know what? Please, everybody who doesn't speak German, pronounce my native language right, okay? You know, like, I think it is incredibly arrogant. It is incredibly arrogant, and I'm not going to take that. So that is that, you know. I broke up with that brand. The brand owner doesn't know it. She just dropped that message to me and I just said, for sure, this will not happen again. The brand owner liked that comment because she thinks I'm going to do better coming up in the coming up videos. I'm just not going to talk about that, and this is how it's not going to happen again, you know? So that is what it is. I just feel very, very bad about being treated like I owe anyone something. Like, I don't. I don't owe anyone anything, and I think it would be very, very wise also of brand owners to realize that what I'm doing here is giving them free advertisement. If I like it or if I not, if I say that go and buy it, or if I say like, you know, you judge for yourself, it is still at the end of the day free advertisement. It is putting the name out there, and people will come and search the site or the whatever, you know. It is free advertisement, and people forget that I don't owe them anything, you know. So that is that. I just wanted to clarify that that I'm not going to be trampled like this. No way. All right, sweeties. Question number 3: makeup products I was happy I didn't buy, and I of course don't have that palette. And honestly, I had to go down trend mood, because I'm like, I don't care about the stuff that I didn't buy, so nothing really sticks to my mind, you know. So in any case, I went down trend mood and I just skipped through everything, and one of the palettes that is actually a cute palette with cute packaging, but I'm glad I didn't buy, and I could have chosen 100 other things, okay, was actually the floral palette from Gucci. I'm going to put it up here so you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you remember it. And I think the outer packaging is actually so adorable and so cute. But this baby, I think it's like 12 shades or something like this, retails for $149, I do believe $149. So that is an obvious one, you know, because actually inside the palette, it is a very, very mediocre palette. It's like just a normal palette. You can find palettes like this a dime a dozen, you know. So I don't know where all the worth of the value of the palette goes. It probably into the packaging. I don't know. I have not tried Gucci. I don't know how the formula is. If it is like I don't know, rainbow sparkles in a palette, I have no idea. But yeah, that is one thing that I didn't buy, and I'm happy that I did not spend that kind of money. Okay, now next one, makeup products I was happy I did buy, and that is actually the Tropical Vibes palette from Ace Beauté, which I have right here, and this is how she looks. Now I have not gotten around to using this yet because I only just received it, but sweeties, this is so beautiful. And also here I actually had to think about what do I want to feature here, because a lot of products that I have I actually didn't buy myself this year, because I have incredible friends who are so supportive. And of course, I've gotten things in PR, but I think this question is really what I bought, you know, and this I bought on that, like the second it launched, I bought it, you know, because it is an obvious thing for me to buy this palette. Plus, I really do like the Ace Beauté formula. It just works for me. And yeah, so that is definitely something that I'm so glad that I did buy. Now, worth the hype in 2021, I think I want to say this one, the 669 palette from Martine Cosmetics. I also received this through the kindness of one of my besties, and I also do have a review up on my channel together with swatches and everything you need to know. This, sweeties, I think, at least in a certain community, was very hyped, and I think the brand was actually super overwhelmed by this sudden interest, that it actually took a long time till we all received the palette, because they had not anticipated that it would get so big, you know. So this is a super cool palette. Of course, you got to be into that color scheme, but this fall I definitely was. It was the perfect palette for this fall. Of course, this was their Halloween release, and I think this is a beautiful palette with beautiful formula and stuff. So in case this is still available, and in case you want to check out this brand and you do like the color story, then this could definitely be something that you would enjoy. I think this was definitely a very worth the hype palette. Yeah, so even though the brand was completely not expecting it, I think. Sweeties, I just realized that I did skip question number 5. That was overhyped makeup releases in 2021. And this is now where I'm going to have to say I have no idea. I have no idea, because personally, I just do not have the time to follow the hypes. I don't know what people like, what they go crazy for, or what they don't, and what is being hyped in like the mainstream community and stuff like that. I'm actually in awe of, like, for example, when I watched Angelica's video when she did this tag, that she knew all these different things, and I just don't. I just don't. I don't care, you know? So that's why I cannot answer you this question. I don't care what other people hype. I really don't. So I just know what I like, and that is good enough for me, and that is what I'm sharing here. So I really don't know what was hyped and if it was worth it or not or whatever, you know? So that is that. Okay, the best new indie brand of 2021. And now I do not exactly know who is all new on the market. It could very well be that there are brands that I have here that are completely new on the market, and I'm not even aware that they are new on the market, that they just got founded this year. Now, of one brand I know for sure, and that is a brand that I have already mentioned, and that is Saints, Angels, Sinners. That is for me the new indie brand of the year because of having come so far in such a short time. Now, again, I told you already that I do own all the palettes from Saints, Angels, Sinners, and even from that I can see how far Darcy, the owner, has come in producing palettes within that very, very short time. And I think that is a journey to take in such a short time, which is absolutely incredible. You know, the fine tuning that she has done in that time, and also listening to the customers, what they want to see and stuff like that. I think this is really, really smart, and I really hope that she's going to get really, really hyped in 2022. So that is my answer to question number 7. Now, question number 8, the worst release of 2021. Again, I had to go down trend mood because I don't care about stuff like this. Now, while I was going down trend mood, I saw one palette, which is, let me just read this, the Naked Cyber palette from Urban Decay. Just gonna put it up here so you remember how it looked. I think this palette is just really, really boring. Very boring, with like basically no depth, I think beyond like one shade or something. And this is just not, you know, I don't know. That is very, very boring. So is this the worst release? I have no idea. I really don't, and I really don't care. You know, the brands have to do what they have to do, and if they feel like people are buying it, then good for them, and if people don't buy it, then they have to learn from it, and that is basically how easy it is, you know? So that is what I have to say to that. Okay, then question number 9. One thing I don't want to see in 2022. Okay, or I want to see less of, maybe. Okay, I could very, very well live without the super creepy themes, you know? Like this creepy theme, that's okay, you know, I can live with that. Now, do I have to have blood-soaked daggers on a palette? No, really not. I want makeup to be a safe zone. I don't want it to be anything triggering. I think that it could be so nice to just have palettes with butterflies and flowers. What would be so wrong about that? Why does it need to be creepy, edgy, like oversexed also? You know, why do we need to have like half-naked women on the palettes? I think it is below standard, and I personally don't like it. Now, do I bash the brands for it? No, because it's their choice and whatever, you know. Some people believe that it sells well, and maybe it does. It would not be my choice if I had a brand, which I hopefully will at some point in the future. It would not be what I'm doing, because I do believe in also my own value and worth, and I would not promote anything less on my palettes and in my products. So that is just my thing, but of course this is a very, very personal thing. While, for example, now with the very, very creepy palettes, it happens that these kinds of palettes, the fall releases, the Halloween releases, are usually also the most beautiful ones of the year. So I personally don't always get around getting something like this, because it is just so beautiful for the makeup itself. But you know, out of packaging, I would love it if we could just be a little bit nicer. You know? All right, so beyond that, what else have I written down? Oh, another million lip balm releases. I don't need that. Like, who needs so many lip balms? I don't, like, it's once a year that I'm using a lip balm. You know, for me personally, that is very, very, like, if I need something on my lips and I don't want to have lipstick on, I'll just use a drop of olive oil. You know, it's very simple. So for me, lip balms, like whatever, invest the money in something else. Okay, then what else? One more thing that I would like to see less of, or maybe it could like disappear altogether, is having palettes where you have eyeshadow, lip products, and also face products in the palette. That is just, I'm going to also pop up a picture here as an example. It's a very, very, I don't remember now from which brand that is. It is a very, very big palette. You do have also like cream lipsticks in there. You also do have face products, I do believe, in there. I think that is something that nobody is seriously going to use a lot, and I think it's a waste. I see why they're doing it. They want to like include everything and like give you the feeling that you're getting a good deal, but I think at the end of the day people are not using it. But I know from myself that if I have, for example, highlighters in the palette, it is a big waste, because I pack my palettes away and then I don't use the highlighters, and that is just a shame, you know. So some palettes I actually do keep here next to me because I know there are highlighters in it, but in general they just get, I don't know, they just disappear in my collection, and it's a shame. So I would rather have them come out with a eyeshadow palette and then companion palettes. Do a lip palette, do a face palette, whatever, but don't force people to have it all in one palette. That I think would be really nice. Okay, now the last question is one thing I do want to see in 2022. Okay, of course I want to see more releases like we spoke about with the Mira Beauty palettes. You know, that you do have palettes and then you have companion palettes with the glitters, because while I personally really like pressed glitters, I know that a lot of people don't, and they would buy the releases if there wouldn't be the glitters in it. So I think it would be very smart for brands to come out with palettes that don't have pressed glitters in them, to make it more accessible for like a broader audience, and then just have a companion palette just like they did. You know, I think it is super smart, so people who don't like this, they can only buy the main palette and they will still have a beautiful product. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think they're going about it in a very smart way, and that is definitely something that I would like to see this coming year, because I think it is just very smart and will only help the indie brands. Beyond that, there's also something that I would really like to see, for example, among a lot of things, but I'm going to just mention one more thing. And that is, maybe you have realized that now lately a lot of brands are coming out with only multi-chrome palettes, or only duochrome palettes, or only whatever palettes that are basically just having 9 shades or 12 shades or whatever of multi-chromes. Okay, I personally find it very hard to use, because I'm never doing looks just like that, and I personally would really like it to be able to have another palette, a companion palette again from that same brand. Because if I'm doing looks and if I'm trying to promote the looks also on social media, I would love it if I could be able to just promote that one brand in that look, you know. Of course I can always get an all matte palette and mix it together with whatever other palette that is only multi-chromes or whatever, but I think it would be super smart for the brands, for the sake of them. I personally don't need to care, but for their sake, I think it would be super amazing if they would come out with these bundles, you know, with these collections, to have by all means a 9-pan or a 12-pan palette with all multi-chromes, or even bigger, whatever they want to do, but then also have of the same brand a palette that has the mattes to it. You know, I think that would be really nice, and even not just in general offering an all matte palette per brand, but even within that particular release that you're speaking about, to have a 9-pan palette with all mattes and a 9-pan palette with all the multi-chromes, for example, you know. So you can curate. It doesn't need to be a rainbow palette or something, you know, but it can be curated exactly to fit this one multi-chrome palette, you know, so you can do amazing looks just like combining these two. That would be really nice. I would love to see that. So that is basically it. I hope that showed a little bit of my heart. I hope it entertained you too, and of course leave me your comments in the comment section about your feedback and everything, and what you think about those questions and what your answers would be. Feel free, and of course if you do have a YouTube channel, feel free to do the tag, and don't forget of course to tag also Angelica, because it's her tag. Okay, beyond that, of course I'm going to leave, as I said already, the tag questions in the description box. I'm also going to have, of course, Angelica's channel linked there, and also my makeup will be there, and of course if I have enough space. We'll see. If I don't have enough space, my makeup will be in a pinned comment, as always in these cases. You will also find, of course, all my discount codes that I have with the brands, and also ways to support my channel in case you wish to do so. And beyond that, I would love it if you were to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so yet, and I shall see you here super soon for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.